Guys, it's Becky, and I wanted to make some spring-inspired earrings using the Wonderland kit, the Wonderland design kit from Softflex, by making some little whimsical flowers dangles, and then stacking those dangles to make jangly dangly earrings. And one of the things that I'm going to add to this is I got these in a grab bag from Jill Wiseman. She's my local bead store, by the way. They're not open to the public, but she's in the same town I'm at. So when she sends me stuff, it goes to our shared local post office and then to the regional office and then back to the local post office for delivery to my house. But I got these and they've got this purple and blue, and I think that they will be a nice accent for these dangles that I'm about to show you how to make. With these earrings. So let me show you how to make these dangles. And then after we've made the dangles, I will show you how to put them together to make them into earrings. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to be using the Softflex design kit. If you have any petal or flower shaped bead caps from somewhere else, you can do the same thing with them. What I'm going to be doing is using a small bead just in there to give it some glitz and some glam. And then I'm using 22 gauge craft wire in order to make, instead of having like a head pin for these drops, I'm just gonna do a little swirl on the end for added whimsy and make myself some drops like that. So let's get what we're doing. I've got 22 gauge craft wire. I'm going to be using some flush cutters to cut it. I'm going to be using some round nose pliers to start the whirl. I'm going to use some of these flat on the inside chain nose pliers to help get the whirl going. And then we're also going to use these again to do the loop at the top of the dangle. So that's what we're going to be doing with those. And I have two different colors in here. I've got these blue and the purple, and I was going to go ahead and use both of these. So I'm going to use all of these petal flower shape beads. I actually got two of the bead mixes, so I have twice as many in here as what comes in the bead mix, which is fantastic because that means that they will be super jangly and dangly. And then for the blue beads, I wanted to use these clear, like crystal etched, or these laser etched glass beads that have the like it's an AB coating, but they also have this checkerboard thing on them, and I think that is going to add another small touch of whimsy to our Wonderland inspired things. So we're going to do blue ones with these, and then I've got these other like rainbow iris coated crystal beads, and that's what we're going to do with the purple ones. And then we're going to have a totally separate type of drop for these beads because they are drilled at the top here for these leaf beads. So we'll get that figured out in a minute. I'm going to show you how to do these. I've already made one of these, so I'm not going to show you how to do this one. I'm going to show you how to do it with the blue bead, and then we will turn off the camera and I will make the rest of them and join you back later, and then we will do our drops with our leaves. Or you know what, actually I'm going to do the drop with the blue flower and then the leaf, and then I will do all of my drops, and then we will meet back here to put them together to make earrings. So let's make drops first. All right, so for my drops, I'm going to use, I just want to get a nice flat end on my wire, 22 gauge wire, and I want to grab right at the very end with the very end of these round nose pliers, give it like the tightest twisty twirl I can, and then when it's bent around like that, that's when I'm going to grab it with my chain nose pliers, not to squish it, but from the side, so that I can bend my wire around this little circle and make myself a little spiral. And I'm going to give it a little bend back. Actually, there we go. So that it's kind of straight and hanging down. Why won't you focus for me? There we go. So it's straight and hanging down. And I'm going to cut off the end. So it's basically made a head pin for me with a little spiral on the end. And now I'm going to add my bead right there at the bottom. And it is for the blue ones, I'm using the checkerboard beads. For the purple ones, I used this iris coated one. And then I'm going to add my blue bead cap. And if I wanted to add more, I could add another bead on top of there. It wouldn't look terrible like that, like if I had one of these green crystal beads or something. Just to dress it up a little bit more. Actually, do I have 8 of these? Because I'm going to be making 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's only 6 of them, but I do have these beads. Yeah, why don't I actually do that? I think that's a really good idea, Becky. All right, good job, me. These smaller beads are going to be part of it. And all that's going to do is just make the drop a little bit longer and add a little extra sparkle and color to my guys. So now that I've got this on here, I'm going to give it a little right angle bend. And then I'm going to use my round nose pliers and bend the wire back over here. Shift it until it comes all the way around. And I will grip from the flat side of this loop and bend my wire around in order to loop it. And when I have sufficient loops, I'll cut off my excess. Ta-da! I now have, tuck in my edge, I now have a little drop with a swirl on the end. And that's going to be part of the earrings with these purple ones and these leaves. So let's get a drop with these leaf beads. Let's see if we can figure out how to make these a nice drop. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of my 22 gauge wire. It's like about 3 inches, maybe that much. And I'm going to string this along on the wire, now closer to the end of it. So there's like about 1.5 inches on that end. I'm going to bend this wire up this way, like that. I'm going to snug this over here into that corner. I'm going to bend this wire using my my chain nose pliers. I'm going to bend this up, and I'm bending it like this carefully so that I don't break this glass bead. I just want to be real careful because it's glass. All right, now that we've got that going this way, and they're kind of crossing, but I want this to go straight up from here. So I'm just going to do a little bend that way. And I would like this to also go straight up. I'd like them to go straight up together, like this, so they are buddies. All right. Now, I want them to stay together this entire time. So I'm going to take the shorter end and I'm going to clip it about there. Then I'm going to take the longer end. I'm going to bend it 90 degrees right from there. For this, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers again. I'm going to grip it right there where the bend is. I'm going to bring the wire around the top, over here to the side. And then I'm going to wrap around both of these, both ends of this wire, so that it stays together. And that is going to be my leaf drop. Can you see that? Not sure if it's going to be helpful, but I can repeat this with another leaf. Just gonna tuck my end in, tighten this up a little bit. Let me repeat that with another leaf because there were a lot of steps involved. And I want to make sure that that we went over all of them twice. Oh, come on, mister. There we go. So I'm going to grab myself a leaf and about 3 inches or 2 or 4. This one's a little bit shorter of my 22 gauge wire. And then I'm going to slide my leaf bead along, not to the middle. I want a shorter end and a longer end. But then I'm going to bend up both ends right here next to my leaf. I'm going to be very careful not to damage the glass with my pliers or with the wire. I want both of these going in this direction. And then above the leaf, at the very top, I'm going to give it a little bend so that it's going straight up. And I want the same bend to be on that side so that they can come together, oof, and be together, parallel. Then I'm going to cut off most of this shorter one. Not all of it, just enough that I've got room to wrap the next one. And then I'm going to bend this one at a 90-degree angle right next to where I cut off the shorter one. After it's been bent, I'm going to use my round nose pliers and I will grip it right there where the bend is and bring the wire around, all the way around to the other side so that it's crossing. I'll grab my loop and start wrapping my wire around both of these wires that are sticking up. Like that. Let me get these chain nose pliers in so that I can wrap the rest of this. And you can make it longer so that it's easier to wrap if you want. You can make it shorter. Then you can just use that to push it, and there we have a leaf dangle. All right, so I'm going to make some more of these. In total, I will have 4 purple dangles. I'll have 8 blue dangles. And I think I'm going to end up with 12 leaf dangles. And the way it'll work when we put them together is I'm going to have some jump rings, and on each jump ring, I'm going to attach 2 dangles. And then on the next jump ring, I will attach 2 more dangles, and then they'll go all the way down. And it will be like a cluster. It's a cluster of beads. So I'm going to go make my dangles. I'll come back when it's time to put this all together. So I'll see you shortly. Bye. Welcome back, guys. I have created all of my dangles for each of my earrings, and I made myself some ear wires to go with it. There's a short video I'll link in the description that shows you how I make my favorite ear wires out of craft wire. And I went and grabbed some jump rings. These are just little 5mm jump rings that are already open, and I'm going to assemble these earrings now. Now what I'm going to do to assemble them is I will take a jump ring to start at the top, and I will slip 2 beads onto this jump ring before I close it. So now my jump ring is closed, and I have 2 of my dangles on it. I'm going to take a second jump ring, like this, and I'm going to put 1 dangle on the jump ring, and then I am going to put this first jump ring that I created onto that jump ring, and then a second dangle. And then I'll close this jump ring. Let me grab a different thing for closing. Let's close this up. All right. Closed. As closed as it's gonna get. All right, so then what happens is this part will be attached to the ear wire, and then it's going to make a cluster that flows downward based on each of these jump rings. So the next step, now that I've got these 2 attached to that jump ring and those 2 attached to that jump ring, is to add a 3rd jump ring. And I'm going to use about 7 jump rings per earring for this. And so I'm going to grab these. I didn't mention these before, but in the bead mix, there were these cool yellow leaves, and since I was already doing leaves, I decided to go ahead and add them to these earrings to add a little extra pop of color to go with it. So I'm going to add these leaves. Actually, let me turn it this way. And then the jump ring from the last jump ring that I added. And this leaf. And then we'll close this jump ring. All right, now it's time for a 4th jump ring. And I'm just gonna keep adding these dangles. And then the last jump ring I added is the one with this yellow leaf. So let's hook that on there. And then another dangle. And I'm going to keep going all the way to the bottom until I've added all of my dangles and jump rings. Let me go back up here to the top so we can see how this has been building. So it just makes all the dangles, all of the leaves, all of these whimsical things are now just a cluster of leaves and flowers and these beads. So I've got these purple ones are the last ones that I added. Let's lay this out so you can see structurally how it goes. We've got like the 2 at the top, and then those in the middle, and then we've got our yellow ones and our purple ones. and it goes down like that. So the next ones I'm going to be adding are going to be these leaves, and then these flowers, and then on the last jump ring, I am going to add all 3 leaves. So they're all going to hang and dangle at the very bottom together. So that is what I'm going to do on that one. In fact, I could probably, now I'm going to just go from here. So I've got 1 leaf, this jump ring, and another leaf. All right, so that jump ring is what I'm going to be adding to next. So I grab my next jump ring, and I've got these 2 flowers. And hold on, I need to find my last jump ring that I did. Okay, so this is the top of it, that's the beginning, and then those 2. So this is the last one right here at the very bottom. All right, so let's grab this jump ring, add a flower to that, slide it onto this jump ring in between these 2 dangles. And that's the thing, I don't think I specified. You want to put the jump ring between each of the dangles so that the dangles hang on either side of each of these when they do that. It just helps with the way the cluster hangs. So this is the last jump ring that I'm adding to. So I'm going to grab this jump ring and add all 3 of these to this one. Actually, yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Okay, so this one, and this one, all 3 together. So I've got the light and the dark leaves, and I believe this is the last jump ring I added. So I'm going to put that through there. Hold on. Yes, perfect. And give that a smoosh to close that up. All right, and then I'm going to find my top. Where did I start? I think it was here at the top. Was it? Oh, come on. It's about halfway through. Okay. So yes, this is the first one that I started with. It looks like I was going to do blue and then purple and then blue, and it looks like I accidentally did purple at the very top. And I'm not going to go change that because I don't want to. I'm going to leave it that way. And I'm going to open up my ear wire, slide this on my jump ring, and then I will have my dangly cluster earrings that are full of jangle and dangle and whimsy, with leaves and flowers and all of this. And this is from my Wonderland kit using craft wire. And I'm going to put my second together off camera, but thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully this inspired you and you had fun watching. Bye.